Hi everyone, it's me, Mrs. Lockman from Boston School Forest. And I wonder too why people are so afraid of bugs. Like when kids come into Elkie Lodge and they take a look at our education animals, these are some of their responses. The baby chinchillas. Aw, they're so cute. Bubble the turtles. How cool. I love turtles. Wow, salamanders. Look at how they move. They kind of look like lizards or dinosaurs. They're so neat. Can we touch them? Are they slimy? Ew, gross, gross, gross. What in the world are those? Oh, those are so icky. Ew, ah! These are Madagascar hissing cockroaches, and they live here at Boston School Forest. They're an education animal, and we get to teach kids all about cool features of insects. Things like creepy crawlies, and a lot of times kids come in and they're so afraid of these, but they're not much different than you are. They've got a lot of things that are the same. Let's take a look at some of those. One of the things that is the same between this Madagascar hissing cockroach and you is what they're made out of. Take a look at their shiny, it almost looks like a shell. It's actually called their exoskeleton, and most all insects have an exoskeleton, and it's made out of the same thing as your fingernails and your thumbnails. So even though some kids don't want to touch a Madagascar hissing cockroach or pet it or scratch it behind its ears, if you touch your fingernail or your thumbnail or even your hair, it's made out of the same thing. It's a protein called keratin. And so the Madagascar hissing cockroach exoskeleton feels exactly like your thumbnail. Isn't that a cool similarity? You can see that these cockroaches are hanging onto my sweatshirt and to my thumb. They've got some really pretty cool legs. And you know what? Their legs have the same type of parts that ours do. So for example, the top part of their leg up here is called a femur bone. Your thigh bone is also called your femur bone. The second part of its leg right here is called your tibia. The big bone, that's your shin bone that runs between your knee and your ankle, is also called a tibia. And then the last ones here are tarses. And I always think of tarses as being kind of like your toes. So those are kind of the bones in your feet. Look closely. Their legs are also bent in certain areas, right? Between each of those different segments, the femur, the tibia, and the tarsi, they have these joints, just like your arms and your legs have different joints. So it doesn't matter if they have 6 legs and you only have 2 legs and 2 arms. The structure of these is about the same. If you remember learning about insects, you may remember the song, head, thorax, abdomen, abdomen, the 3 body parts of an insect. But these cockroaches have a part called the prothorax. And look, it's a part that covers up their head. It's part of their thorax that reaches up over their head and provides protection for their head. For us, that could be just like a hood on your hooded sweatshirt. Do I look like a cockroach to you now? Do you hear that noise that it's making? Here, let's try it. It's like a hissing sound. And that's how they get their name Madagascar hissing cockroach. But you know, it's not anything different than what you do. All this cockroach is doing is complaining. Can you please put me back in my enclosure? Why are you holding me? Or if they're out in the wild and something's trying to eat them, they make that hissing noise. Because does that hissing noise remind you of another animal? Yeah, like a snake, right? And so it will make the hissing noise to try to scare away a predator. One of my favorite meals is actually a salad. That's one thing I have in common with the Madagascar hissing cockroaches. They like fresh chopped up veggies too. And they can eat vegetable matter and plant matter that is either alive or dead and decaying off the forest floor out in the wild. But here at Boston School Forest, we make sure that they have fresh water and that they have fresh food to eat. And a lot of those fresh foods are just things that are left over from our lunches because they eat the same things we do. Well, thank you for taking time today to learn about our Madagascar hissing cockroaches here at Boston School Forest. I hope that you see that even though they look different than us, they actually have a lot of things that are similar. And things that are different aren't necessarily scary or dangerous. So have a great rest of your day, and we hope to see you at the Boston School Forest soon. Bye!